Lake Chickamauga with the FLW Series Pro Circuit. Didn't make the final day, but it was a good tournament. Got paid. I'm not quite sure where I finished. I had like 12.5 pounds today, so I didn't get the big bites that I needed today, which I knew that was going to be key for me. There's just not a lot of fishing shallow like I was doing. There's not a lot of 3 and 4 pound fish up there to put together a solid limit. You have to, you got to catch those 2.5 pounders and then somehow luck into a 6 or 2 big ones. I had a 6 pounder the first day, and that's what gave me my 17 pounds. And I knew that going into it, and I kind of just, I was playing the odds and knew I could probably have a good finish here, and so I focused shallow. I figured I could have a good finish fishing shallow, staying away from the crowds out on the ledges with as many boats as we had. So that's what I decided to do, and it worked out pretty good. I'd have liked to have made that top 10, but still, all in all, it was a good tournament. Basically, everything I weighed in, minus a couple fish, came on 2 different presentations. I was flipping. I was flipping a Buckeye flipping jig, 3/4 ounce, with a Berkeley Power Bait Pit Boss, and I was doing this on some not so much shallow grass, but just grass edges, that came out off the river channel, and would end in about 6 or 7 foot, and then of course it would drop off after that. And I was just basically just pitching that edge, and I was getting my bites on the fall. I think every single bite that I had came on the fall. This 20-pound test gamma fluorocarbon, 7.5 foot extra heavy level. It's our flipping stick. Really good for this presentation. Super stiff rod. It's light, so I mean you can flip it all day if that's what you're doing. But yeah, it's got so much backbone and so much strength for that fluorocarbon. It works really good, and obviously Abu Garcia Revo Premier 7.3-to-1. It's a really good flipping setup for something like that. I punch with this rod too, but for fluorocarbon, if you're fishing fluorocarbon, I like a really stiff rod, and this is really the one that you need to do that. But I caught my 6 pounder the first day doing that, and each day I would catch 2 or 3 of the fish that I weighed. It seemed like I would catch doing this, even though I probably only spent an hour or 2 every day. But it was definitely key, for what I was doing and the weight that I brought in. But yeah, the fun part for me was when I got to go up shallow and fish my Berkeley Power Bait General. And I didn't catch very many big fish. I think I caught one the first day. It was like a 3.5 pounder, but all the rest of the fish I weighed this week came on the Power Bait General, and just fishing shade, just fishing shade, whether it was some cypress trees or overhangs. And I was looking for clear water, obviously, and trying to find little pockets and some of the back channels that had hydrilla. And the boat would be sitting in maybe 1.5 feet, 2 foot deep at the most, and I was just targeting those little shade pockets right up on the bank, and my bites were coming in less than a foot of water, and I got to see a lot of them eat it. So I mean, that's really cool to do, and I actually saw a couple today swimming in the hydrilla I pitched to and caught those. One of my favorite ways to fish, fishing the wacky General. 7 foot medium level spinning rod. This is the rod that I use when I'm fishing a heavier wacky style bait like the General, or if I'm fishing a shaky head. This is the rod that I like when I want to wind down and lean into one and really set the hook hard. It's a little bit stiffer. The other wacky worms that I throw, like your 4-inch bottom hoppers, weightless, I throw a medium light, but the General I like on this a little bit stiffer rod like this, because I can cast it a little more accurately, and obviously I can use a little bit heavier line and really get a good hard hook set. MGX, Abu Garcia, Revo MGX, super lightweight. It pairs really well with this rod, 10-pound test gamma, to I believe it was a 14-pound leader, a little bit heavier than I normally would do, but this time of year here, fishing for bigger fish and that shallow cover, you could get away with that heavier leader like that. So caught a lot of fish on that this week, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, it was a good finish for me. It was kind of, I've been telling people this week, a little bit of a homecoming. Coming back to FLW is where I started my career. I fished for close to 20 years, before I made the switch to the Bass Pro Tour, Major League Fishing. So it was good to get back and see some familiar faces and be around some of the guys that I used to compete against and talk to a lot. So it was a good week. So thanks for watching. Just make sure you check out. We'll be putting out some more videos. Don't know where we're going to go next. Who knows? But hopefully the next week or two we're going to be fishing again, and we'll be back here again.